It didn't give me the warning it's recording. Interesting. Okay. Well, good morning, everyone. It's nice to see you guys. I took a couple weeks off. I was in Banff, hiking in Banff. My best friend got married, so I've been missing you guys. You know, I love to train here. So, we're gonna do some SkySlope training. I want to address it first. Everybody sort of gets in a panic every now and then. Treb does this every so often, every so many years. They change the program we're using. You know, when we went from DocuSign to AuthentiSign, everybody panicked, right? Now we're going from AuthentiSign to DigiSign. Don't panic. It's just whoever they have their agreement with and whatever they want to include in our membership fees, right? A lot of people are turning around and purchasing AuthentiSign. You don't need to do that. I mean, if you desperately need some documents from AuthentiSign you didn't save, fine. My best advice is just learn it because it's comes free with your membership, right? So it's a little bit of a learning curve. We kind of all get thrown into the same pot. New agent, old agent, it doesn't matter. All of a sudden, we're on the same playing field, and half of us are in a panic going, I don't know how to create this offer, right? So they're kind of throwing a lot at us right now with the changes. Not only are they changing the DigiSign, they're changing our ad edit, they're changing the way we surf, like, you know what I mean? Our interface, you know, from Stratus to either Matrix or Realm. So I'm getting a lot of questions. Generally, my answer before was I train in Stratus. So I tell people to pick Stratus if you were newer. Because once you get to know what you're doing, you can go and look in Matrix for what those things are. In this instance, I think I'm still gonna stay away from Matrix. I don't like the interface. So anybody who's asking me right now, I think that I'm gonna say if you don't know what to do, pick Realm, because then at least with the trainings, you guys are gonna come along with me. Because even today, I'm gonna completely go out of Stratus, even though Stratus is available until like 2024. I'm going to start training in Realm with everybody so you guys all get used to it. So if you call me, my answer is probably going to be Realm. Only out of a personal preference. It's not wrong if you pick Matrix. It's just the interface that we're using. So I've been getting a lot of calls about that. In a panic going, what do I pick? What do I pick? It's purely your choice at the end of the day. Like I say, if you know what you're looking for and you're comfortable, you can go to Matrix, still watch my training and understand what you're looking for in the Matrix, right? Okay. So we're going to get started today on how we create our offers, okay? It's completely different now, but the core of everything is still the same. So I'm going to go over our basics of what we need to do, but I'm going to walk you through how we do it in the new program, okay? So let me just share my screen here. Okay, so from your home page, okay, you get the choice now. If you go and just go plain search, it's going to give you the choice of what you'd want to choose, the Matrix, Realm, or Stratus, right? So we're going to go into Realm today just because we want to push it a little bit further, get ourselves used to what we're looking at now going forward. And I find it's really glitchy. Aren't you guys finding when you click on it, sometimes it asks you to click on it again, right? So, I mean, Treb's doing a lot in the back end here. So I'm just going to go and I'm trying to click on it again and see if it will let me do that. Okay, so the first page it brings you to is the quick search page, very similar to our Stratus quick search page. Okay, but if you want to go and do your regular in-depth search, you can go here to the search bar and it'll give you just what we're used to seeing in just a little bit of a different format. Okay, so it's still going to ask you the location that we're going to go for. So I'm just going to go, like I always do, somewhere around the office. So we'll hit Toronto. Okay, and then I'm going to go EO4. Okay. And we'll click on Dorset Park, just so we stick around the office. We all know what we're going to look at. My goodness, hello. Doesn't want to pick it for me. Oops. There we go. Okay. So when I click on done, it's going to show me, hold on, let me just go search here. I don't know what's going on with the scroll in my laptop here. There's a done button at the bottom there. Hold on, let me just minimize the screen a little bit here. Sorry, technical difficulties here. There's a done button at the bottom, and I can't scroll my laptop to see it. Even with the Zoom, it was giving me trouble. I just minimized Zoom so I could share my screen here with you guys. I don't know why it's not showing me that. Let me see about full screen. One moment. Okay, so, whoopsie, there we go. I'm just gonna go back. I don't know why. I don't want to waste time on this. I'm gonna go here and see if I can just find a freehold here. I don't want to look at condos. I want to look at freeholds. Okay, take that off and go done. Okay, and what other filters did I put in? I think I have filters in here before. Let me clear this out and just start again here. So for sale, freehold, location, we're going to pick Toronto. And then we're going to pick EO4 around the office. Okay. See, you can see the buttons at the bottom here. You see the red here at the bottom of my screen, and it won't let me scroll. Funny, huh? Wonder why this. Let me see if I can hide my toolbar. Just give me one moment. You like which one better than Stratus? Matrix or Realm, sorry? Yeah, I find Realm is nice. It's got a nice interface to look at. You just have to get used to it, what you're looking for. Yeah, hold on, let me let some people in the room here. I don't know why it's being difficult and it won't let me. Anybody know how to hide my toolbar here at the bottom to get it out of my way? Taskbar. What is the taskbar? So I'm just trying to hide my toolbar at the bottom because it has nothing to do with Realm. It's my laptop being difficult right now. One second.
Maximize button is there. Maybe you can little bit click on that and then you can see the bottom button.
So that's the thing, Sri, is I can't scroll down to the bottom. You see at the very, very bottom, you can see the two red buttons there.
So there is a cross mark right in the top right corner. Then there's the next button, the square one. Click on that and maybe you may get the smallest.
I did that to do a full.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So see, I can make it small and I can do it that way, I guess, but then you guys won't, it'll look small on your guys' share. Oh, well, yes. Sorry? You can see that now. No, I know I can see it now, but see when I go to, hold on, let me put it in the room. When I go to full screen, it hides it on me for some reason. And I want to show you guys the full screen, but it's okay. Whatever, we'll deal.
Stretch your line.
That's a good idea too, actually. Very good. Thank you, Sadia. Good suggestion. There we go. All right, back to business. Okay, so now that we've clicked EO4, I'm going to click done, and we're just going to pick a property somewhere around the office, okay? So let's see. Why don't we pick 1112 Clanton Park? Did it do around? Yeah, it did around the office, EO4. Okay, so we'll pick this one, okay? And just like we could push it from our listing, it lets us push it here directly to where we want to go. So if you scroll down past the pictures a little bit, you see we still have a lot of the same options. You can still go to web forms, Authentisign. You can do your online appointments. You can go to Geo Warehouse, which we're going to open in a minute. And we're going to go to our SkySlope forms, okay? Now what happens is it's going to open up. Before, we used to house everything in a little house. You'll find they call them files now, files and envelopes. So before it was houses that we were housing all our files in, our transaction kits, we were calling them. Now it's a little bit different. Let's see, is it going to glitch on me again? Let's go back and try to click it.
So it looks like the Realm, right? Not the bringing up the contacts from status.
The what, sorry?
Like the contacts, like I used to save my contacts in the status.
Right.
So that way I can send the listings without every time typing the emails, right? So I have shared
Right.
all. I don't think so. That is bringing all the contacts from status to real.
I'll
Maybe
find out
later.
if there's a way to import it. So I
Yeah.
like become the expert at importing everybody's contacts into KV Core and everything from your phone, from your Excel spreadsheet. So I actually got asked this question by the other Sadia at the barbecue,
Mhm.
and I told her I'd look into it to pull it from Stratus now. So give me a day or two to figure that one out, and I'll let you know.
No problem. No problem.
Okay.
Mhm. I will
So
also.
now it's going to ask you who's the client. We're going to do it as the buyer because we're going to purchase this property that's for sale over here. Okay. And you can put the buyer's first and last name in if you want here. So I'm just going to use Mr. John Smith. Okay. And it's saying, is there a property yet? You can import the MLS data, but because we pushed it directly from our listing, it's already filling out that information for us here at the bottom. And then it lets you, how would you like to name the file? Okay, so this is just for your filing purposes when you go back and you look at your different transaction, what it's going to be called. So I'm just going to leave it as the address, 112 Clanton Park. Okay, and I'm going to click create. Okay, so let's get this file going. This is the part where I want to make it easier for you guys, and I'm working on it right now with SkySlope. It'll be like it is in web forms soon, where you don't have to add all your individual forms, and you won't have to think about what you need for the kit. So you'd be able to apply a template. But in this instance, we're just going to go and add the forms just to get you a little bit used to SkySlope. Okay. And we're going to search for our forms. So we need our agreement of purchase and sale. Okay. So form 100, we're going to add. You see at the bottom, it says one form added. Okay. We're going to go continue adding. So now we need our working with a realtor. Okay. We're going to add that form. And we need our identification record. Okay. And we need our buyer representation agreement.
We don't have to make it.
So we're working on that. That's what I sent you guys an email about. So I have to get the broker portal set up for our office because SkySlope is new. They don't have that function set up for us yet. So I am doing that this week. You guys are gonna get a link sent to your email. Ignore it. They said, as I said, because I have to make it so each one of you can visibly see the kit that I'm creating. So just ignore it and log in and do it as normal, but it probably by next week for sure, I'll have all the kits up for you guys. And I want to put in all the clauses again too. So all you have to do is apply the template, open your kit, and all your clauses and everything will be there for whatever you need for your offers, right? Just like it was before, but it's a little bit of a, like, housekeeping right now while we're getting it all set up, right?
You gave me some big one or?
I don't know. Have you tried to go into SkySlope yet? Okay. I've just created
another year for office.
So I was just saying to everybody, I find a lot of people are doing that. They're going and they're paying for Authentisign. Trev is going to change things on you every couple of years. So unless you desperately need some files from your Authentisign, just learn it because it's included in your membership for free, right? And trust me, in 2-3 years again, someone else will offer them, Mega Sign will offer them a better deal and they'll switch to that, right? So it's a little bit of a learning curve, but every couple of years they do it. Before Authentisign, we had DocuSign, right? Before DocuSign, people were paying for stuff because they never included anything in our board. So they're going to change that. They're going to change our programs, the interface, the way we surf for our properties every couple of years because they negotiate with different companies, right? At the end of the day. So my suggestion is learn it, but yeah, some people are going back because they have some documents and stuff they still need in their Authentisign that they were trapped or lost, right? So if you pay, you get it all back. Okay, so then we're going to add the buyer representation agreement. And then we need our form 320, the commission. Okay. So now I see I have 5 forms added. I'm going to go to next. So this is like our kit that we were creating before. Okay. So if you guys remember the house, that was our transaction kit. They call it your file now, your forms now, right? Now what I want to do is I want to go create an envelope. So it's a little bit different in this sense because our web forms and our Authentisign were very separate before. They've made these work really succinct with each other, like they work with each other. Okay, so you have to think one step ahead. I could take all of my documents, as I have to fill them all out, and throw them into an envelope, but I don't really want to do that because I know that I only need 4 out of these 5 documents signed, right? The working with a realtor, confirmation cooperation, the buyer representation agreement, right? I don't need my identification record signed by my client, right? So I'm only going to select what I need. So I know I need my working with a realtor sign, confirmation of cooperation, the agreement of purchase and sale, and the buyer rep. Okay. And I'm purposely leaving out the individual identification record because I don't want that in my envelope right now. Because right when I push it into this envelope together with itself, so you imagine you take all your papers, you put it in one envelope. I'm going to now mail that to my client for them to sign. Right. So this is, you have to pre-think ahead what you're creating for your Authentisign in the sense. Okay. So now I'm going to go fill and send at the bottom here.
So after you check mark the form, you needed to put it in the envelope and then it just goes to the transaction.
Yeah, once you create your kit. So I pushed it from the listing. I can go back one step real quick and just show you on the listing. I won't actually do it, but we were searching in Realm. Have you been using Realm at all? Have you been using Realm at all, Vivek?
No.
Okay, so when you go into Realm, okay, it looks pretty much the same. We're used to all our functions being at the top, you know, whether you can go to web forms, book your online appointment or whatever. Right now, it's just, they show you the pictures and the agent information first. All of those same options that were at the top of our listing are right under the pictures here, okay? So you can see, you can go view in Stratus, you can do your online appointment, your web forms, right? Search, Geo Warehouse, all this stuff. And then you're here, see here, the second last one is SkySlope forms, okay?
So the Geo Warehouse is particular for that listing.
Particular for that listing, when you push it from that listing. I'm going to click it in a minute, but it hasn't been always working. Sometimes it's working, some days it's not, I find. But I think it's just because they're setting everything up. So you might have to type in the address, we'll see. But remember when you were in your listing and you wanted to create an offer for that listing, you clicked on web forms, right? Now you're not, you're clicking on SkySlope. Okay, because that's the new form. So when I clicked from there, that's when it prompted me right to where you walked in and I was adding the forms. Okay, so that's the only part you really missed. Okay, so now we're in our forms, hopefully, if it loads for me. I'm just going to try to refresh it here. Okay, I'm gonna click out of it. I don't know why it's glitching there. We'll go back to it here. So if you come from your home page and you're not pushing from MLS listing, you can click on SkySlope forms over here. Okay, and now that 112 Clanton should be in there in my list. You can see how things are being filed. As soon as Treb works with me and stops glitching out, either that or the internet here. There we go. Okay, so you can see here, I have all of my stuff that I've been working on in my list and we're loading it. I usually do it by the name of the address, like I said, and I had created that envelope. So unless it glitched while I did that, I'm going to click on the envelope. See, so that envelope I created is there and it's only going to contain those 4 documents that I picked up because I don't want my client to sign the identification record, right?
Did you already fill that? Or?
No, I didn't already fill them.
Select.
So some of the information will be there. So if I scroll down real quick, I'm going to come in here and it's just like when we pushed it off MLS before, where it'll fill out the information off of the listing. Okay. But we don't always want to trust that information off the listing, right? So that's why I encourage you guys to go back. We're going to like pick the listing and I'm going to click on the Geo Warehouse. And you guys should always have Geo Warehouse open while you're doing your offers, even your listings, right? Correct. Before we sort of had to have MPAC and Geo Warehouse open, but now all of that information has been smashed into Geo Warehouse. So everything should be at your fingertips in Geo Warehouse. I don't know why Treb does this thing where we have to click on everything twice to make it work, but does it do the same for all of you guys when you're surfing on it?
I haven't started.
Okay, so it did take us directly to the listing. See back there. But sometimes when you come in, it glitches and it'll just bring you to the search bar. Just type in the address. Okay. So we're going to keep that open while we're working on the offer now. Okay. Just gonna move this outside. All right, so we're gonna say this agreement of purchase and sale dated today, okay? Buyer is John Smith, so that's the first time we're gonna go and check in with our geo warehouse. Is it John Smith on this property? Okay. Sorry, John Smith is my purchaser. I want to know who the seller is. So I'm going to see here that it has a couple of different names. This is it's owned by a Park Synagogue. I don't know, picked a strange one, but we want to make sure that that seller information matches what's on here. Okay. In our seller.
It's mandatory to check.
Yeah, you're mandatory to check because, okay, for instance, say it's a husband and wife, okay, John Smith and Jane Smith, right? And the listing agent only put John Smith, right? And somehow the sale goes through and Jane Smith can turn around and sue you and say you didn't check properly. And you can say, oh, but the MLS listing only said John Smith, but you're representing the buyer. You're supposed to do your due diligence as well. So you're as equally responsible. 100%.
Is it not that listing agent negligence?
No, why are you trusting the listing agent? They're only human, they're human error.
Let's say you're counting 1 to 5.
Yeah,
Why 2 is responsible if somebody not counting 1?
because he's not representing your client. So your client is trusting you.
The seller.
Yes,
So
but
this
your,
is due diligence to check the
No.
geo house, who is the protect?
no, your due diligence is to protect your buyer. So what do you do to protect your buyer?
I agree though. It's just a concern.
But how do you protect your buyer? You protect your buyer by checking, verifying information.
Lawyer can check the title.
Yeah, but when it gets to the lawyer, say something slips or it doesn't match or whatever the case may be, you can't play the blame game in real estate because everybody's gonna say you're as equally responsible. Guaranteed.
I'm just one more clear concept to it.
Yeah,
The reason why when like long back I started my career,
Yeah.
during my OER classes and stuff, there is a negligence as a big word. So negligence basically goes to the listing side and the buyer side, buyer agent, listing agent.
Yeah.
So listing agents has some due diligence.
They do.
follow up,
they do.
right?
But aren't you being negligent by not checking it as the buyer rep? You're being negligent as well, right? So just because the listing agent was negligent doesn't give us an excuse as the buyer agent to be negligent. Do you know what I mean?
I agree.
So
Big to me.
Yeah.
The reason why let's say.
that's why I say as a habit, just make it habit. Whenever you do a listing or whenever you do an offer for your client, always open your geo warehouse. Always do a Google search. So we were talking a lot. I don't know if you saw my training a couple weeks back. I always go on Google. I always go on House Creep. I always go do different things for my clients to protect my buyers. So I know what they're buying. If there's ever been a fire, if there's a news story out, if there's a notorious house for some bad reason, I go and I check, I make sure the legal description is proper, make sure that the seller's names are correct, all of that stuff, right? So-
Exactly right. Remember in my listing happened a month ago, 2 months ago, we were talking about the lot size.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
So which one are you gonna pick? Geo house has say something, the previous agent says something, and then our agent to go whatever is legit.
Right,
And then me, you and Bison picked it, right?
yeah,
So this is my due diligence that I filled it up.
your due diligence, yeah. And if you're worried about lot sizes and room sizes and that, do a quick measurement. Even if I take the previous listing, I might measure a room or two, and if they're very similar, then I know, okay, it's probably correct. But yeah, you always want to make sure that you're relying on yourself, right? Because then you only have yourself to blame at the end of the day. Because Rico and Treb will never let you get away with saying, oh, but it's the other agent. Never, ever, ever. They'll always blame you just as much. So
Ourselves in having to check.
you have to have a habit. That's why anytime I do any kind of training, I'm making sure you guys are opening your geo warehouse and looking at it and verifying the information, right? What about the estate property? It depends. It depends if there's executors of the state. Different lawyers want different things. So sometimes they want to see the estate of, and then the executor's name. Sometimes they only want to see the executor's name. Sometimes they want to see, it depends whether they're power of attorney, if the person's still alive, for that estate. Sorry.
Seller agent.
You can ask the seller agent, yeah, because most of the time, as the listing agent, as the seller agent, you should have consulted. So I would say to you, if you wanted to list your property and your father either passed away or maybe they're in a home, but they're not able to sign for themselves, I would ask my seller, I would say, could you please verify with your lawyer how they want us to set this up? They might say, oh, because he's, under your care, you have to put, power of attorney names as per the estate of John Smith or something like that, right? So you have to see how they want it in the document. at the end of the day. Okay, so there we go. So we're gonna go and we're just gonna do a few quick checks with everything there. So you can check everything, you know, we can do the lot size. We'll go back to that geo warehouse. And we're gonna come down and look at the lot size real quick. I picked a real funny one, of course, 60 by 115. 60 by 115, so that's good. A lot of time people round up or down. The 0.08s matter.
Double one.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I just picked this one randomly. The legal description is another one because a lot of times in our MLS data sheet, it doesn't allow us the whole big legal description. But in your agreement of purchase and sale, because you're actually doing the purchase of the property, you have to make sure it's the full legal description. So if you go to Geo Warehouse, you're gonna copy paste all of this right into your SkySlope form. So this one, see, it ends at part 4. You see there's still this rest of this after part 4, right? So I'm just gonna go in here and I'm gonna copy and paste real quick. My laptop's being funny, I think, today. Might be on its last limb. This laptop's been around for a while. Here we go, save. Okay. And most of the other stuff is the same. So you're going to put in the purchase price and everything. I could go over the actual offer itself, you know what I mean? But that's not the purpose today. Our purpose today is more to learn the new SkySlope. See how it's going. Well, let me just let somebody in there. Miss Bilkis. All right. So after this, what are we going to do? We need to prepare it for signature now. So this is why I say you got to put it all into the envelope. Now we're going to mail it to our clients for signature. Okay. So you can click here at the bottom, right, and say prepare signature. Okay. And it's going to ask you automatically for whoever you've put in the document. And we've already said they're the buyer. So remember the wizard before? When you click it at the very, very beginning, when you create your kit, when you push it from the MLS listing, it asks you on the first page, who are you creating this kit for? So I chose buyer, okay? So it knows that John Smith is the buyer. So that's, again, doing it sort of from the beginning instead of at the end like we did with Authentisign before. Authentisign had the wizard at the point of signing. We could pick who's doing what. Here is at the very, very beginning of our kit, we're choosing that John Smith is the buyer. So now that I'm pushing it for signature, it automatically knows he's the buyer. And it gives me the option whether he needs to sign, receives a copy, or there's no action for him. So obviously my client needs to sign. And then it's going to let me put in my email. So I'm just going to put in one of my emails because I don't have obviously a John Smith here as a real client. And then I'm going to click next.
Sorry.
That's okay.
It doesn't split in initial and signature separately, or it just goes automatically, whatever.
It does. I'll show you here. Couple of functions that I like about it, okay? I'm just going to go back over to the recipients though, because I know that there's more than just John Smith I want to add in this kit, okay? So I'm going to go here where it says the 3 dots, and I'm going to say edit recipients, okay? And then underneath John Smith, I know that me as the agent, I'm going to need to sign this document as well because we have spots we have to sign on the offer. So I'm going to put in Christine. Christine Boland. Okay. And again, it gives me the needs to sign option. And then save.
Poland or Poland?
Poland. She's actually from Poland. You know, my dad was Polish, right? Polish and German. And so every time I say my last name, everyone says Poland. And I'm like, no, Boland with a B, right? It's funny. And it's my married name too, not even my maiden name. So John Smith and Christine Boland. There we go. And we click on save.
Action on is the buy property agent.
So it's gonna,
how
I
long,
put myself on there.
I don't get that. How long,
Sorry?
This one is
Yeah.
a standard treatment. So they don't recommend doing it more than the one phase.
Okay,
So one cycle is around.
Oh, I don't think they're talking to me.
oh, okay,
Yeah. So more than that, it causes tissue trauma.
oh.
One
okay.
second,
It
one
can
second.
damage
Let
the
me just
tissue,
go
but
here and
you
move them over
wouldn't
there.
know it.
Yeah,
All right. Sorry about that. I don't think they were talking to me. I just got to get them on mute. I'm going to go back to share my screen now. We'll go back to our SkySlope. So we added John Smith and Christine Boland, right? And then I'm going to click save. Okay, so if I scroll a little bit, it starts to put in some things automatically. Okay, now we have to remember what the last wizard did. This wizard is doing it as well. So sometimes the wizard is great because we don't have to drop and drag signatures and dates and initials everywhere, but it also puts it everywhere for the buyer. So we see here on the working with a realtor form, we don't actually need the signature here because let me click out of it for a second. This is representing our interest and this is not representing our interest, right? But the wizard is just automatically putting the signatures there. This person to the room. So what I need to do is I need to click on that, okay? And I need to delete it because I don't need it there. Okay, good. So that's how it's there automatically, but we're going to scroll down and we're going to need to put different things in different spots. So we see here, I'm going to put any function that needs to be clicked in my box. I'm going to go from the checkbox here and I'm going to click, fill out the confirmation of cooperation a little bit there. Okay. And if I want to put my signature there, so I need to put my signature for the co-op brokerage. It's pretty easy. I just need to go up here and I click on initials. And I click on the box, okay? And it puts my initials in there. Now, the good function is in AuthentiSign, if you guys remember, we had to click on the initial and we had to keep on dragging it over, right? Once I click on
Nasa
initial
Zoom
here,
training ako.
sorry?
Oo.
1 second, let me just put someone else on mute. Lots of people today not on mute. Okay, so go back to share the screen. Okay, so I clicked on initial already. Initial stays highlighted for me. Okay, so now wherever I want initial, I can just keep clicking. I can click here, I can click here, I can click here.
Question.
I don't have to keep on going back and dragging the initial. Yeah, sorry, did someone say my name?
Yeah. So can you please go to on your name and there is a drop down menu, right? Just click on that, what it shows. Is it showing any other names? I'm just exploring now as we speak.
On the drop down box here?
No, on the right side here.
The
Here,
more?
here. No, down. Like we put the CB here. Yeah, on the top.
Oh,
there is
here.
No,
Yeah.
on the next. There's one more on your name, next to your name. Yeah, there's one. Oh, here also you can change it. Wow, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's just like AuthentiSign where you have to be mindful, like, you know, if Christine Boland is signing or our client is signing. So it just lets you pick, right? Yeah, you just have to be mindful of who you're doing at that time, right? So like I'm gonna go down to here. If I click on signature, you know, it's supposed to be the client here, but say I accidentally put my name there, right? I'm gonna have to delete it. You have to make sure that it's who you mean to be signing, right? So I need to put my signature here, right? I need to put a date here, okay? And then you scroll down again and you see the wizard is thrown in an initial where we don't need it again. So here, this is for multiple representation. I'm gonna click on that and make sure I delete it because I don't need it there, right? Sorry? Okay, thought he had a question. So we can go in here, we can do different functions with it as well. So it still lets you put in a text field. So imagine that underneath the signature here, I said, oops, I forgot to put my client's name. I'm gonna just sit here and I'm gonna pull this box here and I'm gonna write in it John Smith, right?
System was better.
Yes, I kind of agree because here you have to go and click on the box. Yeah, and it was just the one right over it. Like I say, there's a couple of good things that are better and there's a couple of good things that are not. My battery's running low. 1 second, I don't want to lose.
Your laptop battery or your battery?
My laptop battery.
Your battery.
My battery's okay. I had a coffee this morning. Okay. Yeah, so I agree. There's a lot of functions that are good and some functions that are kind of like icky. I think it's just, you know, if you get so used to doing the same thing, you know what I mean? Like I was getting really frustrated trying to get into SkySlope forms the first time. And I was like, oh, why did they do this? I miss web forms, right? And then I was like, oh, this kind of works because, you know, I like the way that you can put things in the envelope, you know, only the things that you need signed from your client. Sorry? Yeah, that's what I say. Like you just go here and if you yeah. So before, I don't know if you guys remember, we'd click on it and the little garbage can would show up, right? So like I say, it's one way or the other. It depends on what you guys, yeah.
If you fill
what,
the
sorry?
form first,
Yeah. Over here, the delete? Here, yeah. Yeah, like either way, whether you use the drop down part or whether you use the part on the side, you know what I mean? It allows you to do it. Sorry, Sri, did you have a question?
yeah. Actually, I tried the SkySlope, right? Without creating an envelope, I started filling out the form one by one. And then I clicked on next. It created 3 different envelopes actually.
Yeah,
So that's what I was confused.
that's
I have
why
one more. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I find that my learning curve, and I don't know if it helps you guys get your mind around it, is that if you sort of have to do everything backwards. Like right now, when we were doing web forms, you filled out your forms each, and then you put it into whatever
Mhm.
signing kit you
Mhm.
wanted or whatever. You have to sort of pre-think ahead what you want in that little envelope to sign, right? So I know I was doing the same thing. I had multiple envelopes open and I'm going, what the heck's happening with this SkySlope, right? So that's
Mhm.
why I tried to sort of describe it like that way. Like if we
Okay.
go back, we'll create one more kit here because we have a little bit of time and we'll just sort of do it again. So you guys get your, I found it's just practice. Just go in there and create fake kits, right? You're going to do, you guys can see like I've done multiple offers and stuff on it now just to keep on practicing to get myself really used to it for you guys. So here we can go create a new file. So again, we're just like when we were doing the house and we were clicking the plus button, that's all we're doing. Okay. And this time, let's just do a listing kit. So we're going to say our client is a seller and John Smith. Okay. He's now going to sell.
He's buying and selling. Good.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, he's buying. He's a good client. Buying and selling 1, 2, 3 Main Street, right? Okay. And I'm going to keep that the name of the kit. Then I'm going to click create. Oh, okay. Probably because I use it for testing. We'll do 2, 3, 4 Main Street. Okay. Create. Okay. So like I said, hopefully by next week, you guys can just go apply template and you don't even have to think about it. Right. But in the meantime, it's good to know how to add the forms. So you can add forms. You can also upload documents. So like our Schedule B from our office and stuff like that. You can just go and grab it off your computer, but we'll go to add forms right now. And you're just going to look for the forms again. So we're going to go, okay, I want to add my listing agreement. Okay. And I want to add my working with a realtor. Whoops. Okay. And then I'm going to add my identification record.
When you click on the working with realtor, it's
Yeah.
2 forms. You need to create a seller and buyer. So
Yeah.
sometimes when you're listing, you have to click you have to click the seller one. If you click the buyer one, it doesn't allow you to put the signature on the seller side.
On the seller side, yeah. So I'm just clicking all of them just to show you how to throw in the kit right now. Like I say, hopefully it'll be a no-brainer. You guys just click on template. It'll all be there, the proper ones for seller or buyer or whatever, right? And then you won't have to think about it. But right now, we'll just go MLS data. Who are we here again?
Christine, I'm going to interrupt a second.
That's okay. Go for it.
Okay, so the form that he was telling about the seller and buyer,
yeah.
Even if you pick the buyer instead of seller, you can delete the signature and you can reset on the other side as well.
On the other side, yeah. It just automatically puts it in there for the wizard, right?
Because in web form, we are given only one form but now they are giving 2 form mentioning one buyer and one seller.
Yeah.
Because I tried with that. So just in case if you pick the wrong one for buyer instead of seller, you can delete the signature or you just leave as it is blank and just put it a new one.
I put it on
when
the
you
other
go
side,
on when you go on signature, you just delete that box. That's all.
Yeah. It's just trying to help us save time because it'll automatically populate it. So like I say, when we do the kits, I'll make sure I'll throw the buyer one and the seller one in. So when you pull it up, it's automatically going to put the signatures in the right spot for you, right? But right now, while you're creating your own kits for the next week, you might be pulling the wrong forms. You can just click delete, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I just added those 4 forms. This is most of what you missed from the beginning when you first came. You were asking me. This is all we do to get into where we were working on the forms. And then we click next. Okay. And then again, I'm going to go and I'm going to think ahead. I'm going to say, okay, I want to make my client sign the listing agreement, the working with a realtor, and the freehold MLS data sheet. And I want to click fill and send. Okay. And when I go to fill and send, right, I'm just going to save and exit out of here for a minute so you guys can see. Save and exit. Okay. I'm going to go to my files again, and I'm going to see that my 234 Main Street I just created was there. All of the forms I need are here. Okay. And the good thing is when you start filling them out on the envelope, if you come back to them here and you need them for another reason, they're filled out. So my client said for the listing I put up yesterday, right after I got everything all set up for signature, you know what, let's put it up for a different price. So I was like, uh-oh. So I had to come back to forms. Luckily, the MLS data sheet is 100% filled out. So when you're filling it out here, for instance, in your envelope, if you go to your MLS data sheet and say I just pick, I don't know, actually, let me go to the listing agreement so I can show it a little bit better. I'll just do 1, 2. Cancel out here. I'm gonna go 1, 2,
I
3,
got you
4,
what you're
5.
saying. I got you. It's like a live form where you can edit it and then you can send it also for signature. It's good. Yeah, I understood. Yeah.
For what, sorry?
No, this is like in authentic sign. Once you send it to signature, right? You can't edit it anymore. You have to recreate everything as a package one more time, or at least that form, right? In this case,
Yeah.
the
It's
form is
all working
editable.
together.
Yeah, it's editable.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's good.
That's exactly what I mean. So once you get your head around that Authentisign and web forms were two separate things, this SkySlope and DigiSign are all one. Do you know what I mean? It's all, they got it all sort of working as one. It actually works quite nicely together. It's not so bad, right? It's just a little like scary when you come in here. And I know I cursed a couple times at my laptop during the first couple deals. So it's not only you guys, it just takes a little bit of practice going in, right?
That into one step back.
Sure. So this is different because when you click into the little spots to put in, it just brings up a bigger box for you to fill out. It just pops it up automatically, right? So I go save here.
Would you fill it on the template already, please, or we have to do it each time?
So I want to fill out everything on the template like it was before. So some things are never going to change. It's always going to be Remax Ace, right? It's always going to be our same address, our same phone number. I'm going to put in the regular clauses in our Schedule A, right? I'll make sure you guys have all the forms and the kits that you need. So, you know, if you go to do the offer, as long as you fill out everything in that little kit, you've got all the paperwork you need for Stella kind of thing. I'm trying to make it as much the same as web forms as possible. But like I say, I'm just waiting on SkySlope right now to set up a broker portal for me because apparently we all get set up and then they need to put this broker portal in so I can make you guys all be able to see the kits that I create under my profile. So I'm working on it. Hopefully by next week. And then we'll do another one and I'll show you guys how to use the templates and stuff like that, right? But in the meantime, this is how you guys got to do it. Just if you got an offer to do, if you're not sure what forms you need, just call me or text me and say, oh, I'm doing a listing. What forms do I need again? Right. And then I can give you the numbers.
That form that you click, that it will automatically put it on all of the sheets.
Yeah, exactly. So now I'm going to go back here. Right. I'm going to go to Main Street. Okay. And I'm going to go to our listing agreement here. Okay. And you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is in that slot. Okay. And you guys understand that I'm not in the envelope. I'm in the forms. So the envelope, once you, let me just go back here and kind of get you guys so we can look at the difference. So the file, the house, like we had before in our transaction kits, is 234 Main Street. I have this envelope prepared here. See, it's preparing me another envelope because I clicked on that listing again. Okay. Every time you click on a form to edit, you can either select one or several. It's going to keep on creating new envelopes for you because it's like, oh, you're doing something else now, right? Especially since once I go, so before you had your web forms and you could go and edit them as much as you could. Once this envelope gets signed, you can't touch this envelope again. It's a sealed envelope, right? It's so, like I said, I had to go back and make the change and I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? But the good thing is when you fill out your forms in the envelopes, all your forms under forms are filled out. Do you know what I mean? So you don't have to refill everything out. It just closes out your envelopes. Okay. So say now I want to send this one for signing. I'm going to go prepare signature, right? Next. Oh, it's looking for an email. right? Just wanted to show you guys where you can pick up your documents after they're signed quickly. Okay, so then I'm going to go and I'm going to click send. We're going to pretend like I've got all the stuff done. I'm going to send it for signatures. Okay, so it says your envelope has been sent. Great, I'm done. Okay, so I'm going to go back here and I'm going to go to my envelopes. Now, before, remember, you could monitor whether it was authenticated. It doesn't say authenticated here, but you know, whether they opened their email, whether they signed it. It's just going to tell me what the status is. So the status is I sent it a minute ago on this date, July 18th. And under the action, it's going to tell you 1 out of 4 people signed, 2 out of 4 people signed, 3 out of 4 people signed. So you can see the progression of how many people signed the document. Okay. And then once your envelope is done, you can click on sign documents here. And it's going to tell me there's none right now. But obviously, once they get signed, they get turned into a PDF and they get thrown into this section. So you can come in here and you can look for your documents to save, your PDF documents to push off to your clients from here. Okay. How's everybody doing online? Anybody got any questions for me?
No, it's good. Thanks for clarifying. Like when I did first time when I was used to SkySlope, right? Because I filled out all in web forms.
Yeah.
Then I downloaded as a PDF file.
Yeah.
And then when I upload the documents here,
Yeah.
and so only difficulty here it doesn't populate it won't populate the signature or the person, the buyer or the agent. So we have to manually place it in the required place. So that is
no, you can push it. You can push it. As long as you name who your client is and who your buyer is, the wizard will still fill it out for you on the document. You just got to fill it out ahead of time there. Sadia, did you have a question? Sorry, do you have your hand up?
No, I just want to share a quick tip.
Sure.
I don't know, it might help somebody.
No, absolutely.
Because web form, normally when you pick up a type like lease listing or buyer offers or whatever, it picks up all the form by itself. So, but this SkySlope doesn't do that. We have to pick up the forms by ourselves. So still,
that's because I had created the templates for the forms before. Right? That's what I was just saying to everybody here in the office. By next week, you'll still be able to do that, Sadia. So when you go in, I'll send an email out once the function is up and running. I'm just working on it this week. And I'm waiting for SkySlope to set up my broker portal. Basically, you'll be able to go in and you won't have to pick up the forms on your own. They'll all be in there in your template. So don't.
No, I was saying, still, if you need to get a help, you can go web form, find anything you select as a list listing, pick up the forms from there, so you will see what forms you need.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. And like I say, don't hesitate. You guys can shoot me a message as well. Say, I'm doing a listing kit. I forgot. Like, are these all the forms? Is that correct? Am I missing anything? Right. So
yeah, right now I'm doing in that way. Web form, I pick up a list listing. Doesn't matter whatever it is, it gives me all the forms. Then I know, okay, these are the forms I need to pick up on SkySlope. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah. But hopefully you guys will only have to deal with that for another week and then I'll have it all set up for the office. So, but I'll send you guys an email once I have it all set up.
Thank you.
Sounds good. 29th. I just want to mention, guys, picnic, everybody come. We've got the bus rented. We're going to go have some fun. So let me know because there's only the bus seats 40, but I usually only put 35 on comfortably. So I think I already have 20 spots filled on the bus. So let me know if you guys are coming on the bus. Let me know if you're RSVPing for the picnic so we know for food count. And I'll see you guys on the next training. I'm going to go try and do SkySlope again and again so you guys get used to it. I'm going to incorporate Realm. Like I said, now, if anybody missed it at the beginning, I was talking about getting a lot of calls lately because people are saying, do I choose Matrix or do I choose Realm? My answer to when everybody said, do I choose Matrix or Stratus before was I train in Stratus. So if that helps you and you want to understand and follow, I told them to pick Stratus. So my answer right now is Realm. I find I still like Realm better than Matrix. I'm not a fan of Matrix. So until you guys know what you're looking for and what you're doing, if you want to follow along in the training, I would pick Realm for now and start getting used to it because I'm going to focus all my training, even when I'm doing SkySlope forms and all of that stuff and the new DigiSign, I'm going to push it through Realm to get you guys used to seeing Realm as well. So, yeah, everybody have a good week. Let me know if you need anything. You know, I'm always only a phone call away.
How is the market behaving, Christine? Is
Thank
it-
you.
So, I've been asked that question. And with the last rate hike, I'm not really sure what this week has brought because I haven't put in an offer. Ironically, I have an offer that I'm going to put in today. So we'll see how aggressive that
Okay.
bid is and how many come in. Because I've been telling
Mhm.
that particular client she was hoping with the last rate hike that maybe she could get something this week if everything comes to a halt. So I don't know. Have you
I
guys
have
done
a
any
client,
offers
though.
in the
I'm
last
not
couple
pushing
days?
them really hard. Yeah, I know. It's very difficult to judge these days, actually. Yeah, sometimes it's selling more and sometimes it's selling less. It's kind of weird.
Oh, it's strange though. I'm working with a lot of buyers right now, and I find that it's still aggressive. And everyone keeps saying, "Oh, the market's halting," and I mean, I'm sure it is to some degree, but I haven't experienced it yet. It's still difficult for our buyers. Mind you, our buyers are having a hard time qualifying. So, I mean,
Yeah.
they're not getting as much as they need for their budget because you know the benchmark's higher now. So, yeah,
That's true. Let's
yeah.
see. Mhm. Thank you.
No
Thank you
problem,
for
no
your
problem.
time. Thank you.
Everyone have a lovely week. I will see you guys next training. And like I say, if you guys want anything specifically covered or you're stuck on, shoot me a text. I'll try and focus the training on that as well. But the next few ones, I'm going to really try and take a focus on SkySlope, preparing our offers, using DigiSign, maybe a little bit of KV Core, how to import your contacts, stuff like that. So keep me posted if you want anything specific.
Thank you, Christine. Thank you so
Have a
much.
good morning,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
I saw some envelopes there and somebody